So first we are going to look at the various types of non-random sampling or non-probability sampling. Let's say this is the population to be studied by the surveyor. The best method of surveying this population would be to choose individuals or representatives at random and then use these representatives for study. However, for that, the surveyor requires a population list so that he can choose individuals at random from that population list. But let's say the population is not present with the surveyor. Then the surveyor chooses convenience sampling as the sampling technique. As the name suggests, in convenience sampling, the surveyor chooses individuals or representatives as per his convenience. So the important term is convenience. So the surveyor chooses as per his convenience. And in this particular condition, the most convenient for the surveyor would be to choose the people or to choose representatives that are closest to him. So, does this create an equal chance for each of the individuals? No, it does not, because the individuals closer to the surveyor have a higher probability of getting selected as compared to individuals that are farther away from the surveyor. The closer the individuals are, the higher chance of them getting selected. So, there is an unequal chance of selection. The advantages of this technique is that, so the advantage is that it's cheap, it's easy, and it's fast. However, there's a huge disadvantage, and that is there is an unequal chance. What happens when there's an unequal chance? When there's an unequal chance, the sample comes out to be highly unrepresentative of the actual population. And for a better sample, we require high representation. So we have a community of 400 individuals, and the surveyor wants a sample of 40 individuals. In case of convenience sampling, the surveyor would simply reach out to the individuals that are easily approachable. That creates an unequal chance for the individuals. That is, the individuals that are easy to approach have a higher probability of selection, and the individuals that are less approachable would have lesser probability of selection. In case of quota sampling, instead of simply reaching out to individuals, first the whole population or community is divided into smaller subgroups. And we call these subgroups strata. Strata. Okay, once more. So first you have your population. The population is divided into smaller subgroups. We call these subgroups strata. Now, the researcher goes to each of these strata and carries out convenience sampling. So instead of directly carrying convenience sampling, first the whole population is divided into smaller strata, and then convenience sampling is carried out in each of these strata. So the researcher goes to first strata, carries out convenience sampling, and let's say collects a sample of 10 individuals, then goes to second strata, again carries convenience sampling and collects 10 individual, goes to third strata, carries convenience sampling and collects 10 individuals, goes to fourth strata, and finally carries convenience sampling to collect 10 samples. The reason it is called quota sampling is because the surveyor has to fulfill a certain quota in each of these strata. For example, the surveyor, after he went to first strata, had to collect a total of 10 samples, and that 10 right there is the quota to be fulfilled. Snowball sampling is a non-probability sampling that is carried out for hidden population. So it's carried out for hidden population, or you can also say it's carried out for population that is difficult to reach. Difficult to reach population. For example, IDU or injectable drug users. Let's say you want a sample of injectable drug users. If you go to general public and try to search for injectable drug users by simply asking who takes injectable drug, you want to be able to find sufficient number of people for your sample. But if you somehow find one single individual that take injectable drug, you can ask this individual to tell you other of his friends that also take injectable drugs. So basically, the first research participant helps the researcher to find other participants for the sample. So the first participant helps to find other participant. The other participant further finds other friends who also take injectable drugs. Then these participants they also help to find other people who also take injectable drugs. And that's how the researcher finds a sample that is big enough for his research. The reason it is called snowball sampling is because it shows a snowball effect. When snowball rolls, it picks snow with it, along with it, and the snowball grows larger in size. Similarly, in this sampling as well, first the surveyor finds one single individual, then the first individual or participant helps the surveyor to find other participants. These other participants they further help to find more participants. In purposive or judgmental sampling, the researcher carrying out the research has a purpose. So the researcher has a purpose. In order to fulfill the purpose, the researcher selects participants for the sample by using his own judgment. So the researcher passes judgment to select the participants that are required. For example, let's say the researcher wants to know about tires. Since the researcher has a purpose that is to know about tires, the researcher tries to select people that know about tires. And the researcher passes his judgment to select mechanics in a community since they know best about tires. So the researcher has a purpose that was to know about tires. In order to fulfill the purpose, the researcher himself select people that know about tires like mechanics in a community. Next is clinical trial sampling. Clinical trial is carried out to check the safety of a drug that is to be released in the community. And usually the trial is carried out in four different phases. For trial to be carried out, participants are required. Let's say in first phase, participants are required and the sample of participants need to be 100. So these 100 participants, they are not selected at random in the community because that is not possible. Instead, they are selected as F. Instead, they are selected as FCFS. That is first come, first serve. Let's say when you become a participant, you may get some cash or you may get whatever benefit is associated with the trial. So people who are interested to become the participant will join the clinical trial. And the first 100 people to join the clinical trial will be selected as the participant for the trial. So the first 100 to come will be the first 100 to serve.